Well, what's up, Inside Out? I'm JC, and welcome to Inside Out Live. Well, before we get started, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when new content gets dropped on this channel. If it's your first time here, you're not really sure what Inside Out is all about. Inside Out is about inspiring and equipping you to love God, live differently, and lead the way. It's for you, your friends, and their friends. And we're so excited you decided to spend a bit of your morning with us today. If it's also your first time, there's a link in the description that you can fill out and get a $5 gift card after you're done filling it out, and we'll get you connected to one of our small groups. Well, real quick, I'm going to bring up a whole bunch of my friends up here just to have a little conversation with us. So let's kick it to them.
Hey everyone, it's John, and I am really excited to just take a moment to talk to you guys with a bunch of my friends up here. As some of you, hopefully all of you at this point have heard, JC Mahaffey, my friend and yours, as he would like to say, our student ministry director. Today is his last Sunday as the student ministry director for Transit and Inside Out. And I love JC, and I am so thankful for the 4 years that he's invested in our church and in all of you. And so while we all are obviously sad that, for the relationship of JC leaving or the relationship we have with JC, that kind of coming to a close with him being here, we know that friendship is not going anywhere, and that we just wanted to take a few minutes with all of my friends that are up here just to express our gratitude to JC and just to say thank you to him, because here's the thing that we know is that unfortunately, due to all of the social distancing stuff and everything, there hasn't been an opportunity for all of us to be in one space together to do that. So I want to give my friends that are up here an opportunity to just share some of the reasons why they're grateful for JC and thankful for him. And I'm sure some of them will probably have a good memory or two to share. But I also will tell you a little bit about how you guys can also get to see JC in person this upcoming week. So Maceo, you want to kick us off real quick as we celebrate JC together?
So the reason why I'm just so grateful for JC, well, number one is I wouldn't even get home after we get done filming this because he's my ride home. So that's another thing. And just JC, he's he's just such a cool person. And he's genuinely funny at times. I had to pause to link that out. And one of my favorite things to do that me and my friend Brian kind of started out of nowhere is just teaching JC some slang terms.
Oh yeah.
Some brand new slang terms. So JC, do you have any that you remember, top three?
Yeah, top three. Third favorite is weird flex.
Weird flex.
Weird flex. I like that one. Getting clapped.
Getting clapped
is one that I've just appreciated. Mm-hmm. And then full cap yes.
Me and Brian didn't teach him that one for you guys.
Full cap yes.
We did not teach him that.
Try it somewhere.
We did not teach him that. He learned that on
Brian
his
told
own.
me to do that, and then Maceo appreciate it.
No.
Well, now I understand why everyone in the office has always been so confused by the things that JC says, because he got it all from you and Brian.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't think it was gonna get that bad.
That is so funny. Well, JC, I would agree with Maceo. You've been a great Uber for the past 4 years for many people along the way. Haley, do you have anything you'd just like to say?
I'm just super grateful and thankful for you and all the opportunities that you've presented me with, and continuing to push me and encourage me to do things outside of my box. And even if I think I couldn't do it, you were always there to be like, nah, you got it. You're fine. You can do it. Trust me. And I will never forget when he was I think I was a freshman, and I was chilling back here in the production booth, bugging him as usual. And he goes, yeah, you're going to be a small group leader in 10th grade, so just be prepared. And I was like,
it's probably the best thing he's ever said to you.
And I was like, alrighty.
That's awesome.
And I'm so glad that happened.
Hey, it was a good choice.
He doesn't really ask.
Great life choice.
He just kind of.
Yeah, he just kind of is all right, you're doing this because you can do it.
I wonder where he gets that from.
Noted. Got it. Thanks for
that.
sharing that, and we're so glad that you're a small group leader.
Me too.
Speaking of small group leaders, our small group leader coach.
Yeah. I am just super thankful that you gave me the opportunity to work with the students and work with the leaders and kind of come alongside you in ministry. It's been a blast from sixth grade camp to my life. I mean, nobody goes into ministry for set hours or set time, and you have done it the best way and with just such a positive attitude, and you love these kids and you love your leaders just about as much as you love Jesus and everybody around you. And it's just been a true blessing to be able to lead well with you and love these kids and students with you, and we're gonna miss you a whole lot. And I'm gonna stop before.
You're getting a little teary there.
Yeah, and that doesn't ever happen, so
Well,
you
what's
can say
clear,
you cry.
obviously, is that JC's had a big impact on everybody that's on the stage, on our church, and our city, and frankly, all of you that are watching this right now. And so here's what I know is that that in this season, it's kind of, we've been trying to figure out, like, how do we do this well? How do we create an opportunity for students to, get to see JC, for all of you to get to see JC. He's not going anywhere like tomorrow. He's going to be in town for a little while longer.
We'll find where he lives at.
And JC, apparently Maceo is going to stalk JC to wherever he moves
I
to
will
next.
find where he stays
But
at.
here's the main thing that I want you guys to know is that we are super grateful for JC. We know that you are super grateful for JC, and we have tried to figure out a way to give you guys an opportunity to see JC in person and to just thank him and say goodbye and express your gratitude and all that type of stuff to him. So here's how you're going to be able to do that, and I've already sent your parents an email about this. You are going to be able to hang out with JC at an open house type of an experience at Patty Cakes, which is a coffee shop and cupcake emporium in Hale Plantation this week on Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. So what we want you guys to do is just swing on by. Anthem is going to pay for all the cupcakes and all the coffee and drinks and everything for everybody. And it's going to be outside, so it's going to be safe and okay for you to show up if you feel comfortable to see JC, say goodbye, and just share maybe some gratitude and some thoughts with him. And hopefully your parents have told you about something else that I emailed them about that you guys are going to be helping me with to surprise JC in the next couple of days. So thank you guys so much for helping me love on JC well, to express gratitude. This type of stuff makes JC really uncomfortable. So I need you to help me make...
facial expression changes.
Oh, it's amazing. I need you to help me make JC even more uncomfortable by showing up
I'm
at
sweating.
Patty Cakes over the next couple of days. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of Transit and Inside Out. And thank you for just giving us a few moments to celebrate JC and express our gratitude towards him. And we want you guys to do that as well in person this week. So we hope that you enjoy your talk today. I'm going to hand it back over to JC.
Awesome, guys. Well, we're going to head out to the messages today, so stay tuned, and then I'll see you guys right after.
Hi, my name is Kevin Kabandi, and in this unexpected season, we are all in the same boat. We're all trying to get our schoolwork done, or maybe start trying to make plans for the summer, even though we don't know what the summer will look like. But for all of us, most of us, we spend our day just trying not to go crazy. For me, on my best day, I'm up before 10 a.m. and maybe I've done a little bit of work throughout the day. But if I could be honest with you, most days I'm in my gym shorts, binge watching Netflix and going through my Instagram. And sometimes as I'm going through my Instagram, I start seeing what everybody else is doing and how much more active they are. I see people crushing workouts or reading books or getting more of their schoolwork done or getting more of their work done. And I start thinking to myself, I'm not getting anything done. I feel like such a failure. I'm eating breakfast at 2 in the afternoon. Like, come on, Kevin. And if we can be honest with ourselves, quarantine can sometimes feel like a competition. It can feel like a competition of who has the best TikTok video or who has done more in their workout days or done their workouts more consistently. And I'm thinking to myself, not only are those competitions sometimes, but even our faith can be a competition on social media. Sometimes when I'm looking through my Instagram, I see how much other people are reading their Bibles or reading a new book, or they have these amazing quotes about what they've been studying or taking notes of. And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't done any of that. And faith, something that should be encouraging for me, can now feel like a competition. And if I could be honest with you, we're not the first people to feel this. Yes, technology is relatively a new thing. But since the beginning of time, or since the beginning of faith, people have been comparing themselves to each other when it comes to their faith. See, earlier in the Christian faith, people used to compare themselves on what they would eat and what they would not eat, or where they would hang out or who they would hang out with. People were constantly comparing themselves. And one of the biggest debates, one of the biggest comparisons was how they spent their time during the Sabbath, how they would spend their time during the day of rest. And how you spent your time that day would literally determine where you stood on certain debates of faith. Now, the Sabbath simply means day of rest, and it was often practiced on a Saturday. And the rules around the Sabbath were really strict. You couldn't walk a certain distance on the Sabbath day. You weren't allowed to cook on the Sabbath day. You weren't even allowed to reheat food on the Sabbath day. You would have to lay out the food the day before. And how people practiced this day was really, really important to them. Now, this was such a big debate at the time that even one of the early church leaders of our time, one of the most influential church leaders of our time, Paul, had to discuss this with a church that was wrestling on how do we practice the Sabbath the best way? How do we do it in a way where we're best honoring God? And people would compare each other to that. And in Colossians chapter 2, verse 16 through 19, Paul addresses this question. He says this: "Therefore, do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or drink, or with regard to a religious festival, a new moon celebration, or a Sabbath day. These are a shadow of the things that were to come. The reality, however, is found in Christ. Do not let anyone who delights in false humility and the worship of angels disqualify you. Such a person also goes into great detail about what they have seen. They are puffed up in idle notions by their unspiritual mind. They have lost connection with the head, from whom the whole body, supported and held together by its ligaments and sinews, grows as God causes it to grow." One of the things that I notice right off the bat that Paul talks about in verse 16 is he says, "Therefore do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or drink." He says it right off the bat. Don't let anybody judge you. Don't let them judge you by what you eat or drink. Don't let them judge you by how you celebrate your Sabbath. And he's almost telling us here is, hey, don't be concerned about what other people think. Don't compare yourself to what other people are doing or what other people are going to think about you. But then he later on goes in verse 17, "These are a shadow of the things that were to come. The reality, however, is found in Christ." He's saying all these other things will not compare to the things that are ahead of us, the things that are found in Christ. And it gets me thinking, what are all the things that are found in Christ? What are all the things that I'm missing because I'm comparing myself to other things when I should be looking to Christ? But then he says this, which I love in verse 18 to 19, "Do not let anyone who delights in false humility and worship of angels disqualify you. Such a person also goes into great detail about what they have seen. They are puffed up and idle notorious by their unspiritual mind. They have lost connection with the head." And if Paul could break that down in a simple way, in the way that I'm hearing this also, and I hope you hear it too, is that we shouldn't let the spiritual work that we do get in the way of our spiritual focus. We shouldn't let our spiritual work get in the way of our spiritual focus. And here's the thing, in this season, we can spend our time easily constantly focusing on what other people are doing, or we could spend this time focusing on God and focusing on growing our relationship with God, not looking to our left or our right, but fixing our eyes on Jesus in the season. Look, 2020 has been a crazy year. It started off fast and it suddenly came to a halt. And the way that you know how to do school, the way that you've been doing school has suddenly changed on a dime. And the best way for you to communicate or connect with people relationally is now through your phone. And that comes with some collateral damage. Now you have to ask yourself the question, am I posting what I'm posting or sharing what I'm sharing to encourage other people? Or am I doing this for my ego? What I do know is this, that genuine faith produces genuine acts of faith. For some of us, we need to practice this thing called Sabbath, a day of rest. A day where we don't have to keep up with the Joneses or try to compare ourselves to what everybody else is doing with their time, but a day where we can just put our faith and our trust in God for the future. So as you're about to head over to small group, I want to ask you guys a question. How can we keep our spiritual practices genuine?
I love what Kevin said there, the idea that genuine faith produces genuine acts of faith. And honestly, I love that it's the message that closes out my season here. And here's why. Over the past 4 years, over the next 4 years and beyond that, that's been my hope for you guys, is that you guys discover what it looks like to pursue and trust God and have a genuine faith with him. And beyond that, and this is truly my hope for you as high schoolers, is that you don't just get to have a faith with God, but it actually produces genuine acts of faith. That it starts to impact not only your life, but that it impacts your friends' lives, your families, and your schools. And honestly, I've been blessed to be able to see that happen with many of you. And I hope and I know it's going to continue to happen with many of you. But that's my hope for you. That's been my hope for you. And that's what I'm excited for you guys, is that it doesn't have to stop with just my season here. But even though I am leaving, I am excited to see you guys one last time. I'm excited to spend a little more time with you guys Wednesday and Thursday at Patty Cakes. And if you can't make it there, I want you to hear a couple things. I want you to hear that I love you, that I care about you. I've loved every moment that I've got to create with you guys, and all the relationships that I've got to build with you guys. And I'm gonna miss you guys a ton. But before Patty Cakes and before anything else, as you guys head to small groups, if you're not really sure how to get there, feel free to text this number, your name, grade, and gender. We'll get you connected as you guys discover what it looks like to have a genuine faith that produces genuine acts of faith. I'll see some of you on Wednesday and Thursday. Otherwise, I'll see you back here for another episode of Inside Out Live.